Hello, fellow Mega Tennis. So you're playing SMT5 and you're super interested in learning a little more about the world, its lore, and more importantly, the trivia. This video will discuss trivia you probably didn't know about SMT5. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
So, you're playing SMT5 and you are super interested in learning more about the game's trivia. Well, I'm your dude with the info, fellow Macatanists.
I'm here too. We're talking trivia today.
What the frick? Get out of my TV, you two.
Hey, I want to be the guest speaker on an episode of Did You Know Gaming, and you showed up on my Nocturne video without asking, so either I help you with this or you sit back in your chair and die of irrelevancy.
I just want to talk about SMT5, fellas.
Did you know? When you take the year 2021 and add together the numbers making up said year, you will get the number 5. There are also 5 ones in the date 2021, 11th November. This is why Atlus chose to release Shin Megami Tensei 5 the day they did, much like Bethesda did with Skyrim 10 years prior.
Sure, Macca. Okay, let's do it. In this video, KatanaRikku and I will discuss trivia you probably didn't know about Shin Megami Tensei 5. So, there's some cool things here and there across the game that are references to Nocturne. You might be familiar with Magatsuhi. It's the thing that in Nocturne they're trying to gather to create their ideal world, according to their reason. But in this game, it's basically a fun little gauge to beat up some baddies. They still appear visually the same, but have no bearing on the end game, and just serve as part of a skill system. Though, in mythology, Magatsuhi are gods. Maga means disaster, Su means of, and Hi means divine spirit. These were born during the Kamiyumi, where Izanagi returned from hell and had to be purified. Magatsuhi are 2 gods in the Kojiki and 1 god in the Nihon Shoki. The Nabino no Kami were born basically just to take them out. So this is a weird combination of Nocturne's lore loosely, and even looser, it's a connection to just the original Shinto origin. Another cool thing is Black Frost. This is what he says in Shin Megami Tensei 5. I'm not lying. I may not hee-ho look it, but I used to be the Emperor of Kabukicho, ho. This is another reference to Nocturne, as in Nocturne, Black Frost does indeed turn hee-ho evil and becomes the Emperor of Kabukicho, before you melt him down. This Black Frost also references a manga, seemingly about a loan shark or something, that he only says is called King of Me something. If anyone watching this knows the reference, please put it in the comments, please.
Those aren't the only Nocturne references. In SMT5, you usually use ley lines to teleport between areas in the same way terminals work in mainline titles like SMT4, but you might notice that there's actually amalodrums that work the same way as ley lines in SMT5. The amalodrum was a mysterious object found in a book by Hikawa and Nocturne and recreated to get his world recreation plan in order. Also, the Prime Minister says 18 years ago, Tokyo endured the conception unwittingly, and now with the Shekinah glory fading, the loss we face would be unbearable. Clearly referencing the conception from Nocturne, with the 18 years ago thing checking out too.
Another Nocturne reference can be found by talking to a certain NPC. This NPC will make mention of the magazine Ayakashi Monthly, which was a magazine Hijiri wrote for in Nocturne. It's also referenced in the item description of a relic you get from various vending machines throughout DOT. One of the items you can find is an old magazine, which is described as an 18-year-old occult magazine full of articles on the supernatural. The word Ayakashi is also of note, as it refers to a special type of yokai. Ayakashi are said to be vengeful spirits of those who died at sea, trying to get more people to join them. The Endgame magazine, also known as Mindspace magazine, wouldn't be able to tell you why though.
Since you brought up items, there's some that straight up references SMT. The hexagram trading card says, a card with a hexagram drawn on the back. The front shows a young man with an odd machine attached to his left arm. That's literally the Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei trading card game, and probably describing one of the Shin Megami Tensei 1 protagonist trading cards. There's another SMT TCG, but I'm not sure what it's referencing, probably a holographic card. The Mothman capture pot seems to be a super deep cut reference, as it says it's a mysterious pot that can capture demons. It's said to have been made by a blind human 30 years ago. This would be the Wakimi no Subo from SMT1, used to capture Belial. But the thing about the blind human makes me think it's actually a reference to the manga that inspired the item. The manga is called Kaien Majin, which was a favorite of Kazunari Suzuki. And in that manga, A blind human does indeed make a pot that's used to capture demons. Another cool reference is the Lord Sword and the quest surrounding it. The item description says a legendary sword said to have been held by a great emperor, and this is a reference to Masakado. How epic.
Hey, can I add in some other SMT references? This game doesn't use magnetite. It does exist in the world kinda. In this game there's a single item from the Cleopatra DLC called magnetite powder. This is a reference to the living, mystical substance that demons' bodies are composed of in the physical world and other Mecha-10 titles. There's also the menorah that Sophia gives you for the Nocturne DLC. This is the one given to you by Dante or Raito in Nocturne, and if you didn't know, the menorah corresponds to the Sephiroth, with this one representing Dot. The Sephiroth is tricky to explain, but the Jewish mystical doctrine known as Kabbalah is distinguished by its theory of 10 creative forces that intervene between the infinite unknowable God, Ein Sof, and our created world. Through these powers, God created and ruled the universe, and it's by influencing them that humans cause God to send to Earth forces of compassion or severe judgment. There's even the Angel Ring, which is an item from SMT1 made from fusing Uriel, Gabriel, and Raphael together. In this game though, it's used in a quest to summon them.
Yeah, and Gustav, the spooky boy who we all agree deserves our love? Well, he says, perchance bring more Macca next time, yes? Not only is that a reference to the black market salesman in SMT4, but little do people know that it's also a shout out to my channel. Not only was it cool for Atlas to tell people to subscribe to me, but it's also cool that they told people to leave a like, comment, donate to my Patreon, and send me cookies like my mommy did that one time. There is one more potential reference to SMT in the form of an item, but it's not 100% definitive. The item Shabby Building Material says, a piece of worn out building material. It's chipped all over and, at the right angle, even resembles a human arm. This could be a reference to the protagonist of Megami Tensei 2, whom I'm going to call Hideto. In-game, Hideto loses his arm and hilariously gains the ailment, Lose Arm, which he is only cured of when he obtains an arm made of whatever. It might be a stretch, but I'd say it's worth noting. There's some other interesting trivia in the custom demon dialogue, which is a returning feature from Nocturne. Some demons interact with each other one time with pretty cool conversations, such as when Hydra meets Cerberus. The two actually break the fourth wall, discussing how it took 5 games for the two of them to finally meet. Another cool trivia nugget comes from Yoshitsune and Kurama Tengu. In this exchange, it is made clear that Kurama taught Yoshitsune. This is because Yoshitsune's skills are legendarily stated as coming from his time learning from the Tengu, which is why Kurama calls him Ushiwakumaru, Yoshitsune's childhood name.
Well, I think we covered all the references that I caught, I think, besides all the other item descriptions, so let's run through those really quick. The cartridge game console is probably the Super Famicom or the Famicom. The Sagata 3 game console is probably the Sega Genesis. The game console with handle might be the GameCube. The ripped manga, the one that's describing a story about a young, one-armed man traveling through the netherworld, is probably Berserk. The novel, that's a travel-sized book about a demon struggling to enter paradise, might be a reference to Paradise Lost. The Gibbon guitar is probably the Gibson Les Paul Black Beauty. The TV game combination is likely the Dreamcast Divers TV. This is described as a monitor shaped like a Magatama with a game console built in. Oh, and also there's a Nocturne reference that happens between Mara and Slime. In that dialogue, Mara mentions how he feels like he was a slime recently. Didn't really think that 18 years ago would be considered recent, but that's when Nocturne was created, and in that game you can fight a Mara that was tried to be summoned by Baphomet that was malformed, the Mara slime. Now, is there anything that you caught that we didn't? Let me know in the comments. Sub to me, sub to Rikku, sub to Macca, and also thanks guys for coming.
You can find me over at youtube.com/MaccaSMT and on Twitter at JBOMacca. I do various videos such as editorials, review impressions, a series where I tell you why you should play a game I like, as well as stream every Monday on said channel. Come check me out, and I'll even share those cookies my mommy sent me. They're the Pokemon limited edition ones. You can have it, but just don't eat the Mew one. That one's mine. I get to keep it and sell it. It's currently in a Tupperware in the refrigerator, and I'm not sure what to do with it. I just know I gotta sell it, so don't touch it.
Well, thanks for the invite. I'm out of here.
That's it for today's video, and goodbye, fellow Megatenists.
Ah.